I have a confession to make. It's this feeling, and I think a lot of us have it, but we don't really talk about it. It's that restless itch. You know the one I mean. You're always chasing the next thing, the promotion, the finished project.
Your next milestone.
Exactly. And you tell yourself, okay, once I get there, I'll finally relax, I'll feel complete. But you get there, you spike the football, and the goalposts just move again. And you're left with this subtle ache of not enough. It's just exhausting.
It is exhausting. It's also completely predictable, biologically. But before we get into the neuroscience and the philosophy behind it,
Yeah.
I want you to try something with me and everyone listening too.
Okay, I'm game. What are we doing?
Just for a second, I want you to visualize a vast lake. It's dawn. The water is perfectly still.
Okay.
It's reflecting the sky so perfectly that you actually can't tell where the water ends and the heavens begin. It's just seamless.
Got it. Yeah, it's quiet, glassy.
Now imagine your mind is that lake. Just calm, clear, receptive. In that state, you aren't chasing abundance, you're recognizing it. This isn't just some nice visualization. This is the whole idea we're exploring today. Abundance starts with awareness, not, acquisition.
Okay, but I have to stop you there. Because on the surface, that sounds beautiful. It really does. But in the real world,
Right.
the world is screaming the exact opposite at us. Our entire culture is built on this idea that you have to hustle to get to a destination called success. If I just sit around being a calm lake, aren't I just going to get eaten alive by the competition?
And that's it. That's the tension right there, that fear you just named.
Yeah.
We've been taught to believe it's a binary choice. You're either successful and stressed, or you're peaceful and broke.
Right, you have to pick one.
But the insights we're looking at today, from neuroplasticity to ancient wisdom, they just completely challenge that. We're going to explore how concepts like Dharma and modern science actually converge. How being well-informed isn't just about facts, it's a whole state of being.
So our mission for this deep dive is to see if we can dismantle that idea. That success and inner peace are like enemies.
Precisely. To show that you don't have to choose. And to do that, we have to start with that itch you mentioned. The trap of more.
Okay, right. There was this example in the research that really hit home for me, this entrepreneur. She's working 18-hour days, just fueled by caffeine and ambition. She gets the funding, she launches the product, she ticks every single box for what success is supposed to look like.
She's the poster child, she made it.
Exactly. And instead of feeling relief or joy, she just feels empty, totally hollow. Why? Why does that happen?
What's so fascinating is the diagnosis. It's easy to look at her and say, oh, she's ungrateful.
Or just greedy.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's not a moral failing, it's physiological. Her nervous system was literally trained to seek, not to receive.
Trained to seek. You mean like a dopamine loop?
It's exactly that. It's a dopamine prediction error. Evolution designed dopamine to reward the pursuit, the hunt. So if you spend years only focused on what's next, what's on the horizon, you physically lose the neural wiring to register what's right here.
Wow, so it's like a kind of cultural amnesia.
It is. She mistook motion for meaning. She was running so fast she couldn't feel the ground under her feet.
That distinction is critical. Motion versus meaning. So the solution is always mindfulness, right? But I'm going to be the skeptic again here.
Please do.
Because when high achievers hear mindfulness, they think it means emptying your mind, going blank. They think it's about checking out or losing their edge while the world keeps moving.
That's the biggest misconception, especially in the West. We think it means sedation. But if you go to the source texts, like the Pali Canon, the Buddha used a word, appamada.
Appamada.
It's often translated as heedfulness or non-negligence. It's not about zoning out. It's a gentle, vigilant presence.
A vigilant presence. That sounds kind of intense.
Well, think of a surgeon in a complex operation or a rock climber on a cliff face. Are they relaxed? No. They are acutely, intensely present. That's appamada. You're not checking out, you're checking in, but deeper than ever before.
Okay, that makes more sense. So it's like high definition awareness.
Exactly.
But how does that help us? I mean, we have some hard science here too, right? This isn't just philosophy.
Right. Let's get into the neuroscience of it. Because research shows gratitude isn't just a fluffy feeling. It's an active discipline that actually rewires the brain.
This part surprised me. It's not just about your mood, it's about changing the actual hardware.
Correct. When you actively practice gratitude, consciously recognizing what's good, you increase activity in your prefrontal cortex.
That's the CEO of the brain, right? Decision making.
The CEO, and at the same time, you decrease activity in the amygdala, the fear center.
Wait, are you saying gratitude literally makes you smarter?
It makes you think clearer, act wiser. Think about it. When you're in a state of lack or fear, I don't have enough, Your amygdala hijacks everything. It's fight or flight. Your vision narrows. But gratitude brings the CEO back online. You're not just feeling better, you are functionally more capable of solving problems.
I know what people are thinking right now, though, especially ambitious people.
Yeah.
If I'm grateful for what I have, won't I lose my drive? Won't I get complacent? It's that fear of, if I'm not hungry, I won't hunt.
The classic scarcity trap. We think dissatisfaction is the only fuel for progress. But scarcity thinking actually narrows the mind. It forces the question, how do I get more for me?
It's tunnel vision.
Total tunnel vision. Abundance thinking, which is born from gratitude, expands the mind. It asks, how can I share this? What can we build together?
Is there a real-world example of this? Because it sounds great in theory.
There is. The story of the Silicon Valley engineer. He was totally burnt out, cynical, just fried.
Okay.
And he started this tiny ritual. Every night, write down 3 things he was grateful for.
And I bet at first it was just coffee and my dog, right? It sounds so trivial.
It was completely forced. He felt silly. But over time, he started noticing more. The hum of his computer, a neighbor's kid laughing. And here's the kicker. He didn't quit his job. She didn't lose his edge. But his work transformed.
How so?
He started designing for human connection, not just cold efficiency. And his calm presence, it started attracting trust. People wanted to work with him because he wasn't vibrating with this desperate energy. He became more successful because he stopped operating from a place of, I'm not enough.
So he went from, I need this success to finally be okay, to, I am already okay, so now I can create success.
Exactly. It's energetic engagement without attachment to the outcome. Think of the Japanese tea ceremony.
I'm not that familiar with it, tell me.
In the ceremony, the host doesn't rush. There's no next thing. Every single movement is savored. The pouring, the whisking, there's no scarcity in that room, only reverence.
Okay.
Now imagine bringing that energy to your email inbox.
Whoa, mindful emailing. That is a tall order.
But why not? If checking an email can be an act of presence, then success stops being something you chase. It becomes something you embody right now.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
Embodying success in the moment. But what about the anxiety of the future, of the unknown? Because we all want a roadmap, right? We want to know where we're going.
This brings us to one of my favorite metaphors, the Ryoanji Zen Garden in Kyoto.
Oh, the rock garden. I've seen pictures of it.
Right, so it has 15 rocks, but here's the thing. No matter where you stand to look at it, you can never see all 15 at once. One is always hidden.
That would drive me absolutely crazy. I'd be leaning over trying to see that last rock.
And that's the whole lesson. The garden is teaching you to accept that you're never given the full map. Clarity comes from being fully present where you are now, not from trying to see the whole picture.
So we have to make peace with the mystery.
You have to practice sati. It's the Pali word for mindfulness, but it literally means to remember.
To remember what? My to-do list.
To remember that you are awareness itself. There's that great example of the young executive. She was so stressed out, overwhelmed. So before every meeting, she just took 3 conscious breaths.
Just 3. It seems too simple.
It's not magic, it's biology. She wasn't trying to fix herself. She was just activating her parasympathetic nervous system. That tiny pause shifted her decisions from fear and reaction to clarity and response.
So she was dealing with reality, not her resistance to it.
Precisely. That's the essence of the First Noble Truth. It's not life is pain. The real translation is that suffering comes from resisting how things are. The pain might be there, but the suffering about the pain, they could evaporate.
Okay, I want to pivot to something that causes, I think, the most resistance for people. Money.
Ah, yes. Spirituality in the bank account.
Right. There's this idea that to be spiritual, you have to renounce wealth. But the research we looked at mentioned the Sagalaka Sutta, and it has a totally different take.
It does. It's incredibly pragmatic. The Buddha didn't condemn wealth. He warned against attachment to it. Huge difference. He actually gives ethical guidelines for earning and saving.
Wait, there's actual budgeting advice in there.
There is. He suggests dividing your wealth into 4 parts. 1 for daily needs, 2 to reinvest in your business or work, and 1 to save for emergencies.
That sounds like modern financial advice.
It is. The insight is that financial stress is often less about the actual number and more about perceived scarcity.
Feeling poor even when you technically aren't.
Yes. And back to the neuroscience, when we practice gratitude, we activate the brain's reward system. That actually reduces impulsive spending. If you feel emotionally full, you don't need to shop to fill a void. Gratitude is a form of financial intelligence.
Wow. That is a massive reframe. What about relationships? Professional envy. It's so real, especially with social media. You see someone else get the thing you wanted, and it feels like you're losing.
This is where we need the concept of mudita. It means sympathetic joy,
So being happy for other people's success,
rejoicing in it.
which, let's be honest, feels like a radical act in our competitive world. If they win, doesn't that mean there's less winning left for me?
That's the zero-sum game fallacy. But think about it. Envy is corrosive. It eats you up, not them. When you can genuinely feel happy for a friend's success, you break the chain of scarcity in your own mind. You align yourself with the energy of success, not lack.
There was that story about the single mother that illustrated this so well.
Yes, working 2 jobs, just exhausted, feeling so isolated. She started a ritual, lighting a candle and naming one thing she was grateful for. Her child's laugh, just making rent that month.
And she didn't just magically get rich.
No, this isn't a fairy tale. But she shifted from a psychology of victimhood to one of participation. Because she felt she had enough, she started volunteering. She felt she had something to give. And that openness attracted community support. Generosity, or dana, it dissolves the illusion that we're all separate.
It really shows how internal states shape external reality. It's not woo-woo, it's cause and effect.
It is. Which brings us to the final image I want to talk about. The lotus flower.
I love this metaphor. Break it down for us.
A lotus is beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Pristine. But it only grows in muddy water. It needs the mud. If you try to grow it in clean, sterile water, it dies.
Oh.
Our struggles, the deadlines, the bills, the difficult boss, that's the mud. We shouldn't try to escape it. It is the soil for wisdom.
I wrote down this quote from our notes. Success without presence is construction. Success with presence is creation.
That's the whole shift. Are you just stacking bricks, or are you creating a home? There's that old Tibetan story about the seeker who spends years looking for enlightenment. He climbs every mountain, checks every cave.
He's desperate.
Totally desperate. Finally, this old woman by a river asks him what he's looking for. He says, I'm looking for the truth.
And she says,
Truth is what remains when you stop running.
wow.
He just sat there and finally got it. He was seeking abundance while standing in an ocean of it the whole time.
So the spiritual and the material, they aren't separate worlds. I don't need to wear a suit during the day and robes at night.
They're 2 wings of the same bird. If you only have material success, it's a gilded cage. You have the car, but know where you truly want to go. If you only have spiritual ideas but can't pay rent, it's ungrounded. The real invitation is to integrate them.
So the big takeaway for me is, I don't need to quit my job and move to a monastery.
No. In fact, the real test of wisdom isn't in the monastery. It's in the marketplace. It's staying grounded during a deadline crunch. It's breathing through a traffic jam. That is where the practice really lives.
It's about leaning in, not pulling away.
Leaning into this moment, exactly as it is, mud and all.
So I want to leave everyone with the question that really came out of all this for me, a big one to carry with you. What if everything you've been searching for is already here, waiting not to be found, but to be noticed?
A beautiful place to leave it. It's all about the noticing.
Thanks for diving deep with us. Now go notice something. We'll see you next time.